Hello and welcome to our first episode of Shipwreck Sean's On the Menu. This is a show where we take pop culture things and we make cocktails out of them. So this weekend is the Academy Awards. It's the end of the big 2023 awards season, and there's a whole bunch of movies last year that were great, and we're going to make some drinks out of them, you know, just to squeeze a little bit more out of the whole Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, whatever controversy that's been going on all year. So we're going to make a Trinity test for Oppenheimer. We're going to make Barbie's Dream Home, and then we're going to make a Bella Baxter from Poor Things. These are all three very different cocktails. One's a tiki drink, one is a complicated stirred drink, and the other is a glittery sour. And they're all a lot of fun, and I do think you could make all of these at home. So let's get to it. So for our first drink, we're going to make a Trinity test. So this is for Oppenheimer, and of course refers to the first nuclear explosion, which the whole movie is building up to. So I knew I wanted this drink to be big and bold and loud, like the movie it's named after. So I decided to go with a tiki drink, which also seemed fitting for the first drink to make here in this bar. So knowing also that tiki was popular in the 40s, it seemed right. So what is in a Trinity test? All right, well, let's go over that real quick. So you're going to have first orange juice, lime juice, and pineapple juice. Because it's a tiki drink, you need your juices. The star of this show is ginger syrup to give it this like fiery bite. And of course, it wouldn't be tiki without rum. So first we've got Smith&Cross, which is an overproof Jamaican rum. It's at Navy strength. This is a great rum. It's a great workhorse rum. You don't have it in your bar, get a bottle. Next, we've got Plantation OFTD. This is a combination of dark overproof rums from a couple of islands. It comes in at 69%. It's really good. And then last but not least, we have Limon Hart and Son's 151. This is a Demerara rum, and it's at 151 proof, so 75%. If you've noticed, all of these rums are overproof. This is an incredibly strong drink. You'll want to just sip on it and slowly enjoy it. The other two things you're going to need to make this drink are you're going to need crushed ice. So you can either use like a Lewis bag to crush normal ice, or you can go to Sonic or Chick-fil-A and get that sweet, sweet nugget ice. Then you're going to also need a drink blender. So as we're going to churn this up, you can shake it in your Bostons if you don't have a drink blender. I would just be cautious of the volume, because the volume is kind of large in this drink. So you might not want to shake it if you don't have to. All right, so let's get to building, shall we? I need a jigger. And you're going to need a jigger, of course. All right. So first off, let's go ahead and crush our ice. It's a great way to get your aggression out. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this crushed ice in our tin. And then you're going to reserve the rest of it, because we're going to put ice in the glass as well. All right. First up, let's start with our juices. We're going to do 1 ounce of orange juice. And always freshly squeeze your juices. I did right before we started shooting. Then you're going to want to do 1 ounce of lime juice. When you're looking for your juice blends, you're looking to kind of balance out both really sweet juices and really tart citruses. So like lemon, lime, pineapple, orange. Kind of find the balance inside there with your juices. Then we're going to put in 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice. This is the only juice that I use canned, because I don't go through enough pineapple juice to warrant any kind of pineapple squeezings. All right, now we set our juices aside. We're going to go ahead and get out our ginger syrup. I am using Liber & Co.'s Fiery Ginger. You can make a ginger simple syrup at home, but Liber & Co. makes a great product, and I really recommend it. All right. Quickly throw in my dash of Angostura Bitters, or 2 if you're using a Japanese dasher like that. All right, now we come to our rums. We're going to put in 1 ounce of Smith&Cross, 1 ounce of our Plantation OFTD. Ooh, spill rum all over the place. 1 ounce of our Limon Hart. We can tell I don't use speed pours very often. All right, and that is everything we need. So now what we're going to do, go ahead and put this in our drink blender and plug in our drink blender. Okay, now that we've messed with our cords, you put it in your drink blender. And you blend it for about 20-30 seconds. You're looking for a little bit of frost to form and for it to be very frothy. The pineapple juice is going to really froth up and give this drink a nice kind of body. Then you remember where you put your nice big serving vessel. Going to put in the rest of that reserved ice. And then we're not going to quite open pour this, but I'm going to take my julep strainer and just kind of hold back that crushed ice as we strain, because we don't want to overfill this. And then a great garnish would be some mint, which I forgot to buy. Then you're going to put a straw in, and that is a Trinity test. It's punchy with the ginger that comes through, and you get the rums, you get the sweetness from your juices, and it all kind of works in tandem. You don't feel as you sip how powerful this drink is. So it's great in that respect if you're looking for a way to get a lot of rum without feeling it on your mouth. You get that ginger bite that comes through and it kind of punches you, and you get all that nice juice sweetness. This is a great drink, and you can just sip on it for hours, and I love this. If I end up watching the Oscars on Sunday, I will be drinking one of these. All right, so for Barbie, what I wanted to do was make a drink that was both complex but simple and just refreshing to drink, and I wanted it to be glittery and fancy and a little extra. So what I did was I knew I wanted it to be pink, and I knew I wanted it to have glitter. So first, we're going to have edible glitter, which is a lot of fun, but it is glitter. And then what we're making is a sour. So the key to this drink is it's a blue mix, we'll call it. It's 2 different kinds of gin, and then I have infused it with elderflower pea blossom tea. So what you're looking at for that is these are blue butterfly pea blossoms. It's a pH indicator, so it's going to look blue, and then when you add the lemon, our citrus here, you're going to get more of a reddish reaction. And for the gins, it's an equal part mix of Hindrick's Flora Adora, which is this great springtime floral gin, and Hindrick's Orbium, which is a little more herbaceous and earthy and classical ginny. They're both really good. They might be a little harder to find because they're kind of seasonal and special, but they're really good gins. If you find them, buy them. And then, so we've got our lemon juice. This is a sour, so it'll have an egg white. If you don't like egg whites, you can use aquafaba, which is chickpea bean juice. This is going to give your drink this very creamy mouthfeel and kind of a little foamy head. You can get away with not using them. I don't recommend it. And then we've got orange bitters and a little simple syrup. All right, so let's go ahead and let's make this drink. So first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in 2 ounces of our pea blossom gin mixture. Okay. And this takes about 30 minutes or so to steep to get yourself a good color. So just kind of prep it ahead of time. Then we're going to go ahead and put in our 1 ounce of lemon juice. Half an ounce of simple syrup. And again, always just make simple syrup at home. This is a 2.5 to 1 sugar to water ratio. It's super easy. You'll save yourself a lot of money. And then a dash of orange bitters, or 2 if you're using a Japanese dasher. All right, so since this does have an egg white, we're going to dry shake it and then wet shake it. And I'm going to add my mustard dust right here. You do not need to use a lot of this. Like, a little goes a long, long way. Just picture that you're in 4th grade and you're doing crafts with glitter. It's the same principle. Luster dust and glitter operate exactly the same. You want to put your dry shaking to kind of emulsify your egg, and then you're going to put your ice in to chill everything down. So there we go, just the egg white. Give that a good shake. Be careful because your tins will want to not lock like they're supposed to when you don't have ice, because the temperature of the ice is what gives you that good solid seal. Then we're going to put in some ice. Also, with any drink that's got an egg white, use a Boston shaker instead of a cobbler. They just will work better. All right, then we grab our coup. Always freeze your coups. And then we're going to strain this. And then in a second, you'll really be able to start to kind of see the glitter that moves throughout the drink. And it's got this nice kind of purpley, pinkish hue and a head that is settling. It is very floral from the Flora Adora, which is then tempered by still being kind of gin forward with the Orbium, and the lemon and the sugar kind of come together and really round it out. And this is a really, really fun sour, and it'll impress your guests because it looks really cool. But again, it's super easy to make at your home bar. That is a Barbie's Dream House. For our final drink today, we have a Bella Baxter, which is from Poor Things. So when I saw this movie, I was overwhelmed by all the crazy visuals and the odd story and just the kind of grimy exuberance of it all. And I knew immediately that this is a drink that A, was going to be stirred, B, was going to be complex and earthy and weird. And I really wanted it to like evolve as it moved through your palate. And so I knew this was going to be the most complicated drink on your palate of the three that we were going to do for this episode. And might be the most difficult if you have to try to find some things. But let's go ahead and go over what's in it real quick. So first we've got rye whiskey. Rye stands up really well in stirred cocktails like this, just that little extra spice that it has. Also, get yourself a 100 proof rye whiskey. It'll just do a little better. I love Rittenhouse. It's cheap. It's good. It's a great workhorse. Then you're going to want Suze, which is a French Amaro. It's earthy. It's bitter. It's Campari adjacent. Then you're going to want Fernet Branca, which is a Italian Amaro. And this is mentholy, and it's drying, and it's earthy, and it's really good, but this is an acquired taste. And lastly is Kümmel, which is a kind of Germanic fennel and caraway liqueur. It can be hard to find. This is homemade, clearly, because it's in a filibuster bottle. I'll put the recipe on how to make this in the doobly-doo below. It's real easy. You just throw herbs in some vodka. You let it steep for 2 weeks. You put some simple syrup in there, strain out the herbs, and you've got Kümmel. It's good stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and make this drink. Since this is all base spirits, we're going to stir it. So you're going to want your mixing glass. And this is an equal parts cocktail. It, again, follows the last word idea of, sort of, follows the last word idea. Base spirit and then Amaros or liqueurs. Or maybe this is a little more Manhattan-y. You know, up to you how you feel. 3/4 of an ounce of your rye. Then we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of our Suze. 3/4 of an ounce of our Fernet Branca. And lastly, 3/4 of an ounce of our Kümmel, which I'm almost out of. All right. Now we're going to put ice in our glass. Good old hand-flavored ice. And then you are going to stir till you get the right level of chill and dilution. Usually takes about 30 seconds. All right. Then we're going to get our glass, because again, always chill your coops. We're going to pour. And last but not least, we're going to express a little bit of grapefruit and then serve it like so. My grapefruit was a little old, so its peel came a little limp. Phrasing. So immediately, you're hit with the caraway and the fennel, and then kind of coming up through your palate, you get that drying from the Fernet, and then that bitter gentian from the Suze. So it kind of moves through your mouth like this. And then the rye is acting more like a medium, and it's pulling all of them together. This is a great sipping cocktail. It's definitely not a beginner's drink, but it's a lot of fun. So in this part of the show, I bring in my wife, Liz, and she tries the cocktails that we have made. She has not had these recently or at all. All right, so let's start here with our Trinity test.
Very tiki. You immediately get like funky Jamaican rum and pineapple. So it's got lots of like caramel notes and kind of rotten banana, but in a good way. And then you get like baking spices underneath that.
Right.
So cinnamon and I don't know, but nutmeg, probably.
Are you getting the ginger?
Yes, yeah. I think that's what's giving kind of Christmas baking spice vibes is the ginger a lot. Yep. It is a little bit spicy, kind of right on the end after you take a sip because of that. It's very good.
Good. All right. This is the Barbie's Dream Home.
First, it's very sparkly. It's very drinkable, smooth. You can taste it's a good drink for people who maybe don't drink as much gin and like gin.
Right.
It's fruity, sweet, but well balanced. It's nice.
Good. And then last but not least, this is the Bella Baxter.
You can smell the citrus right off the front. This one's the most weird, which I guess makes sense. No, I mean, I can taste the Suze right away. So that kind of tastes, it tastes like the way freshly cut grass smells. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
And there's kind of like a dirt undertone to it. But again, I like Suze, so I like that.
And you're also, that's also coming from like the Fernet.
And the Fernet,
and the Kummel.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm not usually a stirred drink person.
Right.
So considering I'm not a huge stirred drink person, that's high praise. I think I'm going to steal this one.
Okay. All right. And that's it for this week. Come back next week where we are going to do Star Trek drinks. And those should be fun. There's some really cool stuff. All right. We will see you next week. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Peace.